Hi everyone, welcome to my teaching session. Once again I am here for giving you some basic trainings on project management. Well, in project management as well I will give you some insights on how to do the project management using some modern tools like Microsoft Project. Now Microsoft Project is a very basic tool that is being used throughout the world today for project management kind of purposes. And for Microsoft Project, the one thing I should mention that it does make your work easy. So if you are in project management sector, you are in the project planning sector, you must have some knowledge of Microsoft Project to make your work handy. Now today I will give you some very basic ideas about Microsoft Project and how to do the things and basic know-hows like how to use a ribbon, how to do the work with the options and what are the differences, kind of things. I will not go into very deep of the subject because there are different options by which you can do many things in Microsoft Project which may not be always necessary for your work. So today we will focus on the very basics itself and give you some idea how to do this work with this software. And this tutorial is specially aimed for professionals, not for students. Why? Because there are some ideas, when you are doing some project management, merely knowing the software will not do any help to you. You must have basic knowledge on project management, how to do the project planning, what are the things that should be taken in account, what are the concerns, what are the deviations that can affect the project, things like that. So this is basically for the persons who are already employed in some company or doing some project management work or project planning department, whatever. So they were in this sector for a quite long and they are working with the thing but don't have any knowledge on Microsoft Project. So this will enable you to make your projects fast. Well, it will give you an insight about how your projects will go, planning of resources, planning of deadlines, planning of milestones, and it will, in the monitoring mode, give you an access to track your project, how it is going, where it is missing the timeline, what is to be done to complete the project within the deadline, how much resource is to be given to the project, should be added to the project or something. So these are the basic things you can achieve from Microsoft Project. It will just make your project automated. You will get to understand when you will log the project that I have planned for this and the thing is being done in this way, so the deviation is like that, so I need to apply some more efforts or some more resources or some more money to the project. It will also help you plan the budget long before starting on the project, that you can give an idea to your customer that this project will be costing something like that. So Microsoft Project will enable you to do your work fast, more efficiently, and it will empower you to understand the very basic loopholes in a project. That is the very important thing in project management. Well, in this session I will give you, as I already said, basic ideas. Then I will give you ideas about how to alter the things. I will give you idea how to cope up with the project timeline. And at the end of this session, I will give you some basic tips and tricks by which you can use this software with more reliability, with more expertise, and you can be a proficient project planner. So just visit this tutorial, and if you think that there can be some more demonstrations on some subject or there can be different ways to do the thing, please let me know by the comment. Thank you. Tutorial in few parts actually, where I will describe the very basic things. Now first let us be familiar with the Microsoft Project environment. For that let us start the Microsoft Project. So this is basically the first time I am running the Microsoft Project in this computer. So it will prompt a window like that. We will just discard that. Usually when you open a Microsoft Project software in any computer,
you will find this kind of window. There you can create new project, import from another project saved earlier, and from Excel you can import project, and from different templates available in the software itself like this. These are the different templates. From there you can also create some project, but for now we will start it from the scratch. That's why I will select the blank project. So this is the blank project. Okay, now blank project, why I have selected blank project? Because there are different functionalities of Microsoft project that can be better demonstrated using this blank project. That's why I have selected this. Now another thing you might have noticed that this part, it will come, this thing is called the backstage view. This will come when we go to the file menu, and here we will see options like that. So from here we can save the project, we can save it to our preferred location, we can print the sheets of the project, and most importantly there is a thing called options. If we click that, this window will open. Now this window is very crucial in case of Microsoft project, because when we are starting a project, before that we should determine specific things in this window which will affect the whole project, and that will be critical to change these things later when we progress further in the project creation process. So before starting the project we must have some idea about these options, and we should set our desired values there, that the project can function as per our need. So in the general tab we can see that screen tip style, this is not important. Default view means the view that comes at the opening time. This thing is called the default view. This is the Gantt in timeline. You can see the timeline here. This thing is called the timeline, and this is called the Gantt chart view. Well, these views can be altered, that I will show you later. And this is the starting view of the project. We have selected with Gantt chart with timeline. I recommend to select this point as default, Gantt chart with timeline, because you will get to understand why this is important, because this is the basic backbone of the total Microsoft project's creation of project. So we should have this Gantt chart with timeline at the first opening. Next is date format. This date format you can change it from here according to your need. I will keep it as default. Username, initials, these are the details of the project admin. You can add that. Currently for my project I will leave this as it is in this default setting. Now display, there are different types of calendars. One is Georgian calendar, Hijri calendar, Thai Buddhist calendar. These are the calendars available with the Microsoft project. Now there can be different calendar files that can be implemented to Microsoft applications, that can be downloaded from the internet, and that can be associated with this Microsoft project as well. But we can create our own calendars, like if we are working in, say, in a remote corner of the world where a different calendar is followed. Like as I am from Kolkata, here we usually follow the Georgian calendar, but in some cases we have to have some alteration in the basic Georgian calendars, because the red letter days are different. Also that will differ in different countries, as the red letter days, like the important national days, like in our case in India it's 23rd February, that is an important day, a red letter day. 12th January, that's a red letter day. 15th August is our Independence Day, that's a red letter day. 26th January, that is our Republic Day, that's a red letter day. So these things will be different for different countries, and according to that we will create our own calendar, because creating a calendar is the way to let Microsoft project know which of the dates in a year are working dates and which are not working days. The concept of working day and non-working day, that I will clarify further later while I will describe how to create the calendars. But just as a specifically small note, you may understand this, that the working day means the day that will be considered for work or planning of work, and non-working day like the holidays, like the important related days, like special days, like when the election is declared. Now 26th January, that's a fixed day that will repeat every year. 15th August, that will be repeated every year. That there will not be any alteration to that. That will be specific. Dates are specific. But like the election was declared few days ago. Election is a thing, for some places election is a red letter day. Specific areas election is a red letter day. Now that is not constant. Every year there will not be an election and the dates will not be same. Likewise, there are different occasions, different festivals which are not constant, like Durga Pujo, like Kali Pujo, like Eid al-Fitr, like Bakrid. These are different instances, different occasions, festivals. They are dependent on some other calendars, like the moon calendar, lunar calendar, maybe the Bengali calendar, things like that. So according to that, we have several modifications over the Georgian calendar, and we will save those things as a new calendar, whole new calendar that will be applied to our project. I will describe that thing later while making calendars, making different calendar than the standard calendar. These things will be clarified in that way, but you just need to have an idea. That's why I already told you that this lesson is not for people who are just starting their career, who are very much novice, who are freshers. This lesson is specially aimed for my corporate students who are actually working in these kinds of sectors for quite while, and they need to know the Microsoft project function. Okay, so that is the calendar setting. Calendar setting, I will discuss it in a more vast way, broader way later. Now the currency setting, the symbol. For this, we have to, as I am from India, this has to be changed to Indian rupees. Then I will go INR, and when I am selecting INR, you can see that this symbol is being varied. Now again, this is the base of the project. That means the maximum things of the project will follow this calendar, will follow this currency. Again, for specific resources associated with the project, the calendar we can change. We can select specific calendars for specific resource. We can change specific currency for specific resource. That is important. Well, that will be a bit different in case of currency, as the conversion rates are different. But in calendar, obviously you can select different calendar for different resources. Also currency is selectable, but that is not very much effective. Whatever, these are the basic things that you should select while starting your work. Now show indications and these things, resource assignment and so on. Entry bar is not necessary. Online status next to name. These are basic, defaults. You keep them just like that. Now schedule. Schedule is the work schedule that your work will follow. Now week starts on Sunday. In some countries, as per my knowledge, week starts from Monday. Some countries week starts from Friday. According to that, the holidays are different, and fiscal year starts in January. Default start time of work is 8 am. Default end time of work is 5 pm. Hours per day is 8 hours. Now there is a catch. This thing I will also describe in a broader way in later tutorials, where I will describe the working time and non-working time. See, the work starts at 8 am and the work ends at 5 pm. So the in between time is 9 hours, but hours per day is declared as 8 hours because as a standard norm, 1 hour is kept for lunch and tiffin or something. So the total working hour is 8 hours, whereas for an 8 hours of work in a standard shift, 9 hours are occupied. Hours per week allowed is 40, days per month 20. These you can change. These, there is no specific norms or something that you cannot change. This you can change this as well. Again, for overtime, night shift and other obligations like those, other options like those, I will describe in resource management and resource assigning. Okay, for currently I am keeping these as it is. So assignment units as a percentage. Assignment units means how much of the work is complete. That will be stored as a percentage. Okay, you can change it to decimal, it's not needed. These are basic things. When you create a new task, will it be auto scheduled or will it be just remain manual scheduled? Well, you don't know what is auto schedule and manual schedule. I am assuming currently you don't know any of this. So just keep it as it is. Project start date, hours, stars, will honor. These things you need to have basic idea first. Then I will describe what these things are. For now, keep these as it is. Proofing, save. These are the place where I need to save. Now this one is important. Cache memory. Cache memory means the project software occupies an amount of memory in the Windows application, and that actually burdens the RAM and the processor. Here you assign how much cache memory is required for your application, how much cache memory you can allow to your application. I recommend you to keep it more than 50 always. Try to make it more than 100 or 200 as per your system, because that will make this app more faster, and for specific operations there is a history of this app to cease functioning for a while, it hangs the PC. So as much memory you can assign, more lucid, more fluid the app will be. That is on to you and your system, how much capacity it has. Now language is English, advanced. These are the options that you have to understand after get to know the very basics of project. Customize ribbon. Ribbon customization means there are different tabs here. You can see you can add another tab and according to your wish, and add your mostly used tools according to your choice there. So this is basically customized ribbon. You can customize it. You can add or delete different icons from different tabs of things. I usually don't need this. You also, I believe that you will not need this. Quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar means this. If you want to add some shortcuts here, you can add it from here. Add-ins not needed. Trust center not needed. Okay. So we have done specific changes in the option, and there will be more things to understand for options. For that you need to understand the very basics of the Microsoft Project software firstly, then we will move on to that section again. So now here we can see the Gantt chart view and the timeline. Timeline is something which actually shows you different tasks and their progresses. Currently let's focus on the Gantt chart view. Gantt chart, you can see that this is very much like an Excel spreadsheet. There are different columns. You can add new columns here, just like Excel. You can insert rows, insert columns, but for columns you have some basic specific things. You cannot add a column according to your wish. You need to add the column here among all these options available here. You cannot just customize anything and add here. The column you will insert, that have to have listed in this list. Okay. So this is very familiar to those who have used Excel. Well, in some companies they do the project management in Excel as well. But as you have an advanced tool like Microsoft Project, why you will just remain in inferior apps like Excel? Okay, so let's start in creating a project. But before creating a project, let us assume some example, and according to the example we will create a project here. Well, where is my whiteboard? Yes. So let us assume about an work, because projects are dependent on different works. Let us assume a work. According to that, we will create a project. Say you are planning of creating an house. So for creating, creating a house will be much more difficult for people to understand. So let's move to a much easier option. You will make tea. You will make tea in your home. Okay. For making tea, what will be the steps? What will be the steps? Firstly, for making tea, you will have to boil the water. So the first is boiling. This new whiteboard is little tricky. Boil water. This is the first step. Next step is add tea leaves to water. Third step is adding sugar to water. Fourth step is sieving the tea. Fifth step is washing cups. Sixth step is pouring the tea. So these are the steps of making tea. So if I further classify these works as combination of different works, like boiling, for boiling water, what are the steps you need to follow? 1. Switch on the oven. Collecting water. And things like that. Well, this whiteboard is giving me a hard time writing, so I will just change it. Wait a second. So I have changed the app of whiteboard. So now it is okay, I think. So these are the basic steps of making tea. Boiling water, pouring tea leaves to the boiling water, sieving the liquid to a pot, add sugar, mixing the sugar, then pouring to cups. Now if I further break this steps in more smaller steps, then how it will look? Boiling water will require collecting water, then switch on stove, then keeping the pot away when done. So these are the steps. If I further break this part, pouring tea leaves. Pouring tea leaves means while the water was kept in boiling, in a specific time we have to add some tea leaves. So pouring tea leaves will require what? Just adding tea leaves, nothing else. So this part is insignificant to write because this is very similar with this part. So we need not to add this thing because it is very much similar to its higher step. Now sieving to a pot. Sieving to a pot, that's a specific operation. For that you need not to do any further activities. It's a single activity. So again, just like pouring tea leaves, this will be an action which will not require further breaking down. Add sugar. Again, this part is a specific task which is not breakable in further little parts. Pouring to cups. Now pouring to cups, that part is a repetitive job. Say there are 4 cups, so the pouring to cups, this action will repeat in 4 times or 3 times or 5 times according to the number of cups, but the action will not require further breaking down. So this is our basic project that is named as making tea. Now how we will add this thing to Microsoft project? Again, if we summarize, we can see that the workflow is just like this, right? Let me use another color for better understanding. The workflow is like this. But if we carefully look, that keeping the pot away when done, boiling water is a thing which consists of all these steps. Keeping the pot away when done, so putting the stove off, keeping the pot away. In between, pouring tea leaves occur. So basically, it is like this step is done, this step is done, then this step is done. After that, after a while, this step is done. So if we further classify these steps as, say these are the points which are sub points of 1. So let me name it at 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Now if we write down the workflow, it will be like 1.1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. No, it will not be 1.3 as I already described. This will be directly 2. Then 1.3. Then 3. Then 4. Then 5. So these 3 things, these 2 and this, it may be part of a single header, but the completion time, the starting time and completion time is different and may not be linear, and that is an important constant you must understand in case of project. So if I transfer it to this sheet, let me start with boiling water. First, you just write down the names, nothing else. Boiling water. Say this is a task which is created, and as I have shown in options, this is created as a manual task. Now, boiling water has some options. Well, I will show them later as I will insert tasks for your understanding. Boiling water, then pouring tea leaves, okay. Next is sieving to a pot, adding sugar, pouring to cups. So these are the basic, these are the basic steps. Now, if I forgot to insert any step, we'll just insert task. Well, you can just right click and insert task. Also, you can click the insert button, that will also insert some tasks. Insert lines, basically. Insert task means that will insert some task, and insert button will insert some lines. Let me show you how it is being done. When I have right clicked and create insert task, it will insert a task which is manually scheduled task, which is inserted. Now again, let me bring on the on-screen keyboard for your understanding. If we just selected this line and just press the insert, it will just insert a line. Again, if I click this, the insert will insert a new line. So here we will add like what was the steps. Well, collecting water or pouring water, maybe. Switch on stove, switch off stove, maybe. These are the 3 steps. Let us add. Pouring water, switch on stove, switch off stove. Okay, so these are the tasks. Now, as you can see, that these 3 are sub-tasks of boiling water. So let us indent them. This is called the indent, this is called outdent. Indent means this. Hierarchy level will change. Outdent means if some tasks are indented, if you click this, they will be outdented. Okay? But to understand it better, let me add another column which will be very significant. Insert column and I will select outline level. Sorry, not outline level, this will be outline number. Okay. So this is outline number. Outline number actually shows the level of the work. Okay, so see that these are labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but basically as we have shown here, it should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and these are the sub steps. So see very carefully when we are selecting these 3 and indenting them, so they are the sub steps of boiling water. So as they are the sub steps of boiling water, see the outline number has been modified in the way that I have shown you earlier. Okay, but here is an anomaly. These duration and the things if I just keep it as it is, there will be no implication of these things in this graphical view. And I suggest you very carefully listen to this. I suggest you not to make any task, auto scheduled. Here you can select any task. This is manually scheduled and this is auto scheduled. You can select over any of these. Also, if you indent any task, it will become auto scheduled. So I very carefully recommend not to set any task in auto mode rather than the manually scheduled before following these steps that I will show you here. What are them? You must add two things before creating an auto scheduled task list. One is the dependency, another is the duration. These things you must add. After that, you should auto schedule the tasks. Okay. So what is dependency and what is duration? Duration means what is the time that you think that this task will require. What is the time that will be required? That can be selected from here. Again, dependencies can be termed in two things. One is predecessor, another, let me add, it is called successor. Predecessor and successor. What are these things? Predecessor means what is the previous task to be completed before this task to start. That is called the predecessor. And successor means what task will come next after this task is completed. See, if we see it here, now we have clear numbers of different levels. So for this task, say 1.1, is there any predecessor? No. Let me have two lines here. One I will call the predecessor, another I will call the successor. So this is predecessor and this is the successor. Okay, let me change the color again. So for this first step, is there any predecessor? No. So this will be blank. Which is the successor? Well, 1.2 is the successor. Say if we make them, there are serial numbers. Predecessor and successors are marked according to the serial numbers. Here are the serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the serial numbers. Predecessors and successors are marked using this serial number and not by this outline number. Make it very clear in your brain. Okay. So let's add serial numbers here first. Say for this it will be 0. This is not 0. It will start from 1. This is 1, 2, 3. This will be 4. Well, no. This will not be 1. There is another one that will be 1 because this is the 1. This will be 2. This will be 3. This will be 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will be the serial number. So for 1, is there any predecessor? No. For 2, is there any predecessor? Let us mark it from 2. For 2, is there any predecessor? No. Successor, obviously there is a successor. 3 is the immediate successor. For 3, the predecessor is 2 and the successor is, what is the successor now? Now here is the catch. Switch on the stove will have a successor pouring tea leaves, because first you collect the water, switch on the stove, then you actually pour the tea leaves. After that you come to this step, which is switch off the stove. So for serial 3, the successor will be what? The successor will be serial 5. Okay. Again, for serial 4, the predecessor will be serial 5 and the successor will be what? This. Okay, that means 6. Clear? For serial 5 or pouring tea leaves, which is predecessor? For 5, predecessor is what? This one, that means 3, and the successor is 4, that means this. For 6, sieving to a pot, the predecessor is 4 and the successor is, well, 7. For 7, the predecessor is 6 and the successor is 8. For 8, the successor is nothing but the predecessor is 7. So you can see that the predecessor and successors are determined according to the flow of the process. That's why I have told that this will be understandable for those who are already working with projects. It is a difficult idea, a bit difficult idea to be understood by a student or fresher. The work, if we see here, if this is 1 means boiling water, then these things will flow like this. But here actually it has a link to a previous task, or the tasks are converging. That's why this kind of successor and predecessor anomalies are happening. Well, for project managers who want to make it in an easier way, they will design the task in a way where boiling water will be a task and pouring tea leaves will be a subtask of that only. I am just showing you this example for different cases. This is a very simple case. Again, when I will show a more difficult or a realistic project of building making, construction, there you will see different instances which will require the knowledge of this predecessor and successor. So here we see that the predecessor and successors are mapped. Now I will recommend you to enter the successors, not the predecessors. Why? I will show you. See, here the successors are 3, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, right? 3, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8 from 2. So let's add these 3, 5, 6, 4, 7 and 8. You can see that these things are auto-populated. these things are auto-populated, and predecessors are also auto-populated, but we must delete these things because it will be problematic to create some tasks as auto-scheduled if we have things entered here already. Okay, so let us keep it like this. We'll see the successors are entered here and the predecessors are automatically created. Okay, well, you can add predecessors because adding predecessors are easier than adding successors. I just added the successors to show you this thing happening. Also, if you add predecessors, this thing may happen for some cases and may not happen for some cases. But any of the cases you delete all these. That is my suggestion. Next is you add the duration. Now for duration it is a bit difficult to understand here for the newbies because the duration will be in some cases in hour, in some cases in minutes, in some cases months, in some cases years, days. Usually if we enter 1, 2, 3, 4 whatever here, it will by default take it as day. To enter something in other way, we have to add, for month we have to add 1 MO, for year 1 Y year, or 1 Y. So these are the little things that you need to know. Okay, so here we have a case that these are the steps which will be having duration of minutes only, not hours, not days or something. So okay, let me write it down because you need to take a note, otherwise you will forget. Let me change the pen color. Usually when you type numbers, it will assume that you have entered day, but otherwise for minute you enter 1 M, for hour enter 1 H, for day you already know that by default it takes days, but for day if you specifically want to mention 1 D, for week 1 W, for month 1 MO. Well, remember one thing, that in case of Microsoft project, it is case sensitive. That means you have to write M, H, D, W, MO in small letter, not in caps. Because if you write it on caps, the Microsoft project will not recognize it. This is a very crucial thing, and it's a little bizarre as well. But they have made it in that way. What we can do? So here we will add duration in minute. Say pouring water is 1 minute. Okay, see, it already taken 1 MIN, but I have entered M only, so this will be automatically taken. Switch on stove, switch on stove and switch off stove. These are, switch on stove means switching on the stove. It will take, say, switching on then boiling, it will say take 5 minutes. Switch off stove, that means after giving the tea leaves, it will take some time. After that we will switch off stove. Maybe I haven't named the tasks correctly, so I will also take it 5 minutes. Sorry, 5 m. Pouring tea leaves, 1 minute. Sieving to pot, say 4 minutes. Adding sugar and stirring, maybe 3 minutes. Pouring to cups. For that it will take, say, I'll be little cautious while pouring, so 6-7 minutes maybe, or it will be okay for 5 minutes. Okay, so we have added the duration. I will recommend to complete these parts fast while creating a project. Next, we will indent. See, when we are indenting it, automatically the upper part of the project, the heading of these three things is changed to automatically scheduled. Okay, now we will mark everything, make them auto schedule. See, when we have done the auto scheduling, all the projects, all the tasks, they are having their dates, start dates, finish dates, timing, and the total timing here. Also, I will recommend to add this summary task here, project summary task. Project summary task will, add this on the top. This will calculate the whole timing. Let it named as tea making. So the tea making is taking 0.05 days. Okay, you can show it in hours or minutes maybe. So this is auto scheduled. Complete project is auto scheduled. So auto schedule has some specific benefits. See here that the project is, plotted in here. The first part, then the total things, one after another, how it is organized. These things are actually plotted here. And for all the projects, all the serious projects and realistic projects also, this thing will happen just like this if we can add the names first, then the predecessor, successors, then the duration, then we auto schedule it. Then only we can make the projects according to our will. See, these are linked. So if we move this to any specific spaces, it will be prevented as it has connection with this. If I just make it little further, see, the pouring water has been changed as I moved it, and all other steps are followed accordingly. So we need to review why this is taking so much time. Pouring water, if I make it 5 minutes, see, the total thing changes. Okay, so this is basically how a project is started, initiated. We will look into much more complexer projects which I will create here, or maybe I will add it from Excel that I have already created. So this is how you step into the world of Microsoft project. This is the first step. Well, some may ask what is the need of making all the project auto scheduled and why not we keep it manually scheduled. See, auto scheduling gives you some specific advantages. Like auto scheduling is like when you actually move any task, when you change the dates, when you change the durations, all other tasks which are dependent on them, like the successor of those tasks and successor of those which are modified, all the things are arranged automatically by Microsoft Project. Automatically, it's a automatic calculation by the computer. You have no role in that. But again, this is also a kind of problem, as you don't have any role in that. It schedules it in a complex way. For simpler projects, it's a advantage. For much more complexer project where many overlappings are there, many adjustments are there, if it is automatically scheduled without understanding the constraints, without understanding the problems there are already faced, then it will be a bit problematic for the project manager to control it. So I will say that when you are using Microsoft Project, you need not to only rely on the automatically scheduling, but you need to use your own brain to understand what is to be done here. I will come back to this part again in the next tutorial. Till then, if you have any question, post it here. I will try to answer that in my next tutorial. Thank you. Have a nice day.